Welcome to the Cory Show, everybody. I haven't been here in a while. Had some weeks off of my show and anything BWC related. I got the weekend off from the baseball preview because I accidentally, absolutely sorry, hate baseball. And I didn't really need to be a part of that, and I didn't really have anything I would really want to say from my show. But now I'm back with an assignment from my friend Ryan to do the Western Conference playoffs and what I think is going to happen there. And yes, I did listen to your thing, Ryan, before I did mine, and I'm going to try and do my thing pretty much like yours. But knowing me, I'm probably not going to listen to you. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. Anyway, I want to talk about the Western Conference playoffs, like I said, and really breaking down this whole thing. It's like the top three teams in the West, it's just a bunch of these aging empires that have reigned for a while. Okay, maybe two out of those three teams, I'm thinking. And if you don't know who they are, that'd be the Spurs, the Lakers, and the Mavericks, who are pretty old, and in the top three spots. When you have your San Antonio Spurs with your Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan, all getting old, and they have the experience, they have the rings. I mean, they're probably on their last run, at least in my mind, for Tim Duncan. I think he's done by the end of this year. But Parker and Manu can maybe play another year or two. Then you have your Los Angeles Lakers, where Kobe's getting up there. He already has 5 rings. I think he wants more than that, but he's going to retire in the next season or two, in my mind. He's not getting any younger. And then the Mavericks, Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, I believe, are pretty old. And most of those teams, they don't have as many notable teams, at least on the Mavericks, that I can say. But they just seem like they're just aging empires that are going to go, fall a bit. But for this year now, I'm going to talk about this year only. I'm going to break down the seedings of the matchups and just pick who's going to win the Western Conference and who's going to go to the NBA Finals. I'll start with the 1-8 seed, and that would be the San Antonio Spurs being the 1 seed and the Memphis Grizzlies at the 8 seed, the Grizzles, if you want to call them. The Spurs, interesting season. They got off to a really hot start. They sort of slid back for a while, but they kept on winning and winning and winning. It wasn't very surprising. I was kind of surprised they were going to get up above 50 games. I really thought the Lakers were going to just demolish everybody this year, but I guess having 2 rings was better for most of them, but I'll get to them a little bit later. And then the Grizzlies here. They have a pretty interesting roster. They have Rudy Gay, who's a very good scorer. Actually, he's not just a good scorer, he's a good all-around player in my mind. He's very young. Him and OJ Mayo are 2 really young developing players that I really like to see on SportsCenter, because I would say I watch them, but I don't watch the Grizzlies. But anyway, they are without Rudy Gay, who is pretty much their leader, and they somehow squeak by in the playoffs. And this series is just going to be the Spurs demolishing them. There's no chance for the Grizzlies. It's going to be a sweep in my mind. I don't want to be mean to the Grizzlies or anything, but they have too many young players. They don't have enough size in my mind to be able to contend with Tim Duncan, DeJuan Blair, who are very good big men. The only big men I can really say off this team would be the Grizzlies. I can't think of his name now. It's just, Marc Gasol, Pau Gasol's little brother. He's still in development too. See, the Grizzlies are a very young team that have talent, but just give them a couple more years and they'll start getting up there if they don't get rid of their players and they keep the same chemistry. So I think this series will be going in a sweep for the Spurs. They're going to sweep the Grizzlies, and I wouldn't be surprised if anyone else wouldn't pick them. The next matchup is the Los Angeles Lakers versus the New Orleans Hornets. The Hornets had a pretty good start. They actually had, I think, won 8 or 10 games in a row at the beginning of the season. Chris Paul was on fire. They were just clicking all cylinders. But then I think the hype kind of got up to him in my mind, because Chris Paul is a great player and I love him to death. But the rest of he doesn't really have a good supporting cast. The only other all-star on that team would be David West, and he's injured, I believe. I'm not sure. He was injured for most of the season, if not maybe the rest of the season. And they really don't have much else of a team. I can't even name another player. I think it's like Peja Stojakovic, and he's old as dirt. He was old when Michael Jordan was still playing, so that tells you how old he is. Anyway, Yeah, the Hornets, like I said, they had a great start. Um, they just I don't know what happened to them. Besides, maybe they just didn't have enough talent to contend in the West this year, and it's not very surprising. I'm actually surprised they even made it into the playoffs. I guess Chris Paul got them good enough to go, and I think if they get bounced out of the playoffs right away, which will probably happen, Chris Paul, the Knicks are still available. Like I said in my Knicks segment for Chris Paul to go there, but check that out later. Um, the Lakers, they had a usual season of going up and down and up and down, but this year it seemed like so many people were just questioning them and doubting them. At little periods of time, I'm like, maybe they have 2 rings in a row now. Maybe most of those guys, that's enough. I mean, 2 rings. I mean, I get a little bit hungrier, but I'm going, hey, I got 2 NBA championships. I feel like I'm on top of the planet. But you have that guy Kobe Bryant there who wants like 8. So he's probably pushing that team as hard as he can. And the Lakers, they seem to do this every year. They have either a good start or they just have a period where they're on clicking on all cylinders. They're doing really good. And then they just have this horrible, 5-game losing streak where they just don't look like they're playing well. They don't look like they want to try. And every year, everyone's like going, "Oh no, the Lakers are in trouble. Oh no, it's the middle of January. What are they gonna do? We're not gonna win the finals. It's okay. The Lakers, as long as they have Kobe Bryant and everyone else on the rest of the team, it's all good. The one thing though they have to look out forward to, if they make it past, they're gonna make it past the first round, but like make it past the second round, is the fact that Andrew Bynum will probably be injured again. He's really injury prone. I think he's a great player, but they need him to be healthy, because then it's just Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, and I think there's another big guy. I can't think of his name, but they need Bynum for size matchups if they want to contend for the finals again this year, which they did last year against the Boston Celtics, having to deal with Kendrick Perkins, Big Baby Davis, and Kevin Garnett and whatnot. But now, when you look at this matchup, you see I think New Orleans can take a game. I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be at home though, because the Lakers at home, I just don't see them losing against the Hornets. I see maybe New Orleans taking game 3 or game 4. I wouldn't be very surprised. I'd be surprised if the series goes to 6. That's gonna go probably to 5 in my mind for the Lakers, and they're gonna get that done. Next up is the Dallas Mavericks and the Portland Trail Blazers, and I might go upset alert on this, because the Mavericks' history the past couple of years, they've been bounced out by the first round. I can't remember which teams, but they have a pretty good. They're not very noticeable during the regular season. They don't get talked about that much as a top NBA elite team. And it's kind of surprising too, because they have Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd and Jason Terry, Brandon Bass, you name it. They have really top-notch players. Some of them a little bit older, but they have good players. They don't get as much attention as Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat, Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers. These teams that get so much credit. I don't think Dallas gets as much credit as they deserve, but that's mainly due to the fact that they've been bounced out of the playoffs so early the past few years. And I think this year they can get past Portland in my mind. Portland's a great young and up-and-coming team, but Brandon Roy, has been battling so many injuries throughout his career. I don't know if I can trust him to stay healthy through a 7-game series. I just don't know if I can. LaMarcus Aldridge is a beast, though. I love him. He was definitely an All-Star snub of the year. I think he averaged like 22 points a game, and I don't even know how many rebounds, but he is a beast. Then they have Gerald Wallace, I believe. He came from the Bobcats, and he gives them a pretty good presence at small forward position. I think Portland will probably take this to maybe 6 games, but ultimately I think experience-wise, I think Dirk Nowitzki and this team will get it done. Experience, in my mind, has changed in sports, seeing of how many upsets there are, and experience, it just doesn't matter. But for the Mavericks' sake, I think because they've been bounced out of the past couple, they've been bounced out of the first round the past couple years. I think they're getting sick of it. I think this year their experience of being in the playoffs will be good enough. and they'll be able to get by Portland in 6 games. Now, don't be surprised if Portland wins the series, though. They don't have as many big men in my mind, but really, the big men for the Mavericks, it's Brandon Bass doing all the dirty work and Dirk Nowitzki's shooting threes, which I don't have a problem with. I'd rather have my big men doing the work, in the post. But if they have that dual threat, then that's good with me. I mean, I play basketball a little bit. I'm not an expert or anything, but if you can have a dual threat at that center position or power forward position, then be on my team any day. Then the next matchup here is the 4-5 matchup, the last one, and that is the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Denver Nuggets without Carmelo Anthony. Now, you may say this because, oh no, they're not going to win without Carmelo. And I was one of those people who, I didn't see Denver making it into the playoffs this year. I just didn't see it. With Carmelo, yes, I did. But after this, I'm going, maybe not. But then I started watching them play more, and George Collar, the coach, said it best. Teams knew when how we were gonna run our offense because we gave the ball to Carmelo so much. And now that Carmelo's not there, maybe teams looking at the offense, they don't know it as much now because there's new guys coming in, and your Danilo Gallinari, if I said that right, Raymond Felton, excuse me, a bunch of other people from the Knicks who came over. A lot of pretty good young talented players who are still getting used to their system, but same thing with the other teams. They don't know how to stop them, maybe because they're not used to playing, against a non-Carmelo Nuggets team. I think it flows better too because these guys are so young and talented, and I think their chemistry just built it up right away. I don't know why. Maybe just right off the bat they figured, okay, we have a shot here to start in a Western Conference that is a bunch full of young talent too, and maybe we can squeak by. And I think this team's going to get better and better. They don't have much post presence yet. They only have Nene, who's a good player, but is going to be a free agent if there's even going to be an NBA season next season. And he's probably going to leave if they lose a series, or even if they win us this series, which the Oklahoma City Thunder I absolutely love, and I just love Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook so much, and the addition of Kendrick Perkins, I see them going pretty far. Don't be surprised if you see the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals. Do not be surprised at all. They have the talent. They have fresh young talent in my mind. They have a great leadership in Kevin Durant, who is a superstar and is one of the best players in the NBA right now. If I would rank him, he'd probably be number 3 out of the top 5 best players in the NBA. I'm not going to mention the other players. I'll save that for some other time. The Oklahoma City Thunder, now with the addition of Kendrick Perkins, they're going to have a great post presence. Serge Ibaka is a great rebounder, and he's a great hustle player. Coming off the bench is Nazr Muhammad, who I have heard of before, and not many people know him. He's just a great rebounder. I'm not sure how big he is, but he's just a beast down low, and he'll give them even more post presence. And that's the thing Oklahoma City's been missing since they moved from Seattle. They didn't have a post guy. They had decent players going down low, but the addition of Kendrick Perkins, they come so much more better. They have more experience with him being Boston. It gives them that nitty-gritty guy who will do the dirty work for you, and he's just such a beast. He will demolish anybody who comes in his path. He scared people in the NBA Finals. The Lakers were scared to death to face him. Teams are scared to death just to go one-on-one on this guy. That just shows how much people don't want to play him. And ultimately, in my mind, the Thunder have enough talent, and Russell Westbrook, who I think is a very underrated player. Don't be surprised if you see him being one of the top 5 point guards. I think he is a top 5 point guard in the league right now, but don't be surprised if he gets even up there on the talent level of a Derrick Rose, of Chris Paul, any of the Darren Williams, any of these top-notch guys who know how to play their position really well. And the Thunder are going to get this series done in, I'm going to say 5 games. I just don't think Denver will have enough experience. And now I know I said experience isn't the biggest thing, but the Thunder, they took the Lakers to 6 games last year without any post presence at all. And now Kendrick Perkins, they can blow them out of the water. and that's how I see the West so far for the first round. Um, my conference champion, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I'm so tempted to go with the Thunder, but it's hard to go against a defending champion in the Lakers. It's hard to go against Kobe Bryant just in general. The guy, he just wants to win constantly. He wants to get so many championships. He wants to get more than Michael so he can be up there. No one will ever surpass him, but he wants to be even closer up there in some MJ's level. And having 6 rings would definitely help that case. He's already a Hall of Fame player, but this man is on a mission. He'll inspire the Lakers to get past anybody. And I don't see the Spurs they have good post presence. I mean, Tim Duncan's a Hall of Famer. DeJuan Blair is a young developing player he can get it done. But I don't know anybody off their bench. I don't think they have enough bench talent to get it done. The Lakers, I like Matt Barnes coming off the bench. I like can't think of any of their other players right now, and they're really good too. And just the fact that they've won 2 straight, it's hard to go against them. Phil Jackson's always had 3-peats when he's won titles. You know, you've seen it all the time. The dude has 11 rings. I'm not going to go against him. I love Phil Jackson. He's the Zen master. He coached the Bulls to 6 titles, and he's going to coach them to 6 this year in my mind. I'm not sure who's going to win the NBA Finals. I have a feeling it'll be the Lakers. But out of the Western Conference, sorry, hit my mic there. Out of the Western Conference is definitely going to be the Lakers. I think that they'd probably face the Spurs again in a rematch. And this team is, in my mind, great team. Very underrated during the season. People needed to not freak out about them. But that's how I see the Western Conference this year. And hopefully you'll see me and Ryan debate on who's going to win the NBA Finals this year. That's going to be a heated topic in my mind because I would be biased to maybe pick the Bulls, but I don't know if I can do it this year. Anyway, that's all from my show today. Only this one segment. I know it's a pretty long segment, but I just love the NBA so much. And check out any of my other shows and any other BWC shows that we've done. And that's how I see the Western Conference. And thanks for watching Cory Bender Show here on BWC Internet Radio. Have a good day, everybody.